What's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. The book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father. It's at Amazon Kindle Create Space. The link will be in the description box below. Politicals. This is a political talk. Two parties, two evils. You know, when I think about this stuff, I think we always talk the lesser of two evils when we're dealing with both parties. Even though, it's really Democrat, Republican, Independent, but Green. But we only consider like two parties. Like the Tea Party, that's still Republican. No, I don't like so conservative, Republican, liberal, Democrat. So, but everybody is under, for the most part, under those two umbrellas. And my thought about it is, everybody is on both sides is sticking on the side of their lesser of two evils. Whether it's economically, whether it's racially, and last but not least, even religiously and politically. So we'll go with the economic part first. You know, Republicans are, and everybody's hypocrites, by the way. This is why I think, like I said, two parties, two evils. Republicans want to lower the taxes because normally the Republicans are the people who not quote unquote big government, and they want to take home what they've earned. Which nothing is wrong with working hard, creating an income, creating a decent living for yourself, and not wanting the government to take the bulk of your income that you've earned. I get that, but you got to also put that aside to the point that everybody's not doing well. So since this is a country that's supposed to be in unison, everybody has to chip in the same at some point to just keep everybody afloat. In some ways, if they need it, you tell people that pull themselves up by their bootstraps, but at the same time, we give our welfare to those who need help. Now, a lot of people don't necessarily need help; they're just playing it. But the reason I say that is because the economic part is, if you never notice this, they want big government. They don't want big government, but these are the same people working for the government. How can senators, representatives, judges, tell you they don't want big government when they're getting paid by that same government? When they're taking a million fucking vacations in a year and getting paid $200,000-300,000 a year and get a pension for the rest of their lives for maybe 2, 4, 6, 8 years of work. That's government pension. So I think it's ridiculous. So I think to get that argument from them in particular is hypocritical. The same thing I think about the liberals, right? Democrats. We need all these programs for people to keep people alive, to keep people, together, and we need to help the worst of the worst and the most downtrodden because we care about the people. The Democrats, Republicans, democracy. The idea of what democracy is, Republicans, republic. For the people, which I think all of what it was built on both sides is now completely gone. So now you got these Democrats worrying about policy, right? But the problem is these are the same people manipulating policy for their benefit. They want to help out the least of these, but no, you don't. You want to help yourself under the auspices of helping out the least of these. And this is why I say, two parties, two evils, because these parties both work in unison. They're coming after our money, but we need to help everybody. Let's go to dinner today and spend it all. What do shut up. Like, you know, you got the racial thing, where people want to say Republicans are racist and Democrats are less racist. When in actuality, Republicans are racist and Democrats are hugging you while they stabbing you in the back racist, saying that a Republican is standing behind you. So who's really the most dangerous? Probably the person that's hugging you with the knife in your back. They're the most dangerous. And people don't want to hear that because, you see how racist those people are overtly? Yes, but do you see how racist the people that you hanging with are covertly? What you talking about? This knife in my back was put there by Bill O'Reilly. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was put there by somebody like James Carville. No, I'm just using names. You know what I'm saying? But Joe Biden just yeah, got you. So that's one problem. You gotta take that into consideration because at the end of the day, like I said, the reason I use the James Carville reference is because I believe he's married to a Republican. So even though they have two different ideologies, they're in the same house. You feel me? They love each other. Their politics may differ, but guess what? The bedroom is in unison. Everybody, the family is intact. So it's really two parties, two evils. There's no lesser of either. Religiously, you got people, Republicans who say they have family values and moral standards when they really completely just overlook family values and moral standards. I mean, I think their family values and moral standards are for sale, you know. And then you got Democrats who everything goes and there are no boundaries because everybody deserving of love and needs help and we're the party of loving people and no boundaries and no expectations. Yay! And then you find this out, I guess right now, I guess the newest pressing issue is, you know, the stance on homosexuality. You know, Republicans say they're against it, and Democrats say they're with it. And truth be told, neither one of them give a fuck. I mean, it's gay Republicans and it's gay Democrats. So who's against who? Like they just playing both sides of the fence to get everything they want. You know, and everybody's sitting here thinking, oh, they hate them Republicans hate these gays. No, they don't. Some of them suck dick and eat pussy just like the rest of the gay dudes and lesbians on the planet. It's what it is, you know. And these liberals, the liberals and Democrats, they just want to have it every way. No, they don't. They just want to use the other party to create enough hysteria to slide in the bullshit that they want while you pointing the finger at the evilness of one side. And that's what both sides do. Really, you know, they create mass hysteria on their side of the political party. And they point the finger at the bad guy. You're the bad guy now. And everybody goes, oh, you know what? They're ridiculous. They're irrelevant. They're just some no-gooders. And then turn right around and slide in their bullshit through the policies while you pointing fingers on their propaganda. So do you think they're not doing this together? Because if one side does it to the other side, and the other side does it to the other side, and they all still hang out together, and they all still wind up getting paid the same, having the same type of connections, using their connections in the same type of ways, wind up with this, roughly the same amount of money from these corporations and businesses and people pushing these agendas, these other I guess political or people organizations, and they all wind up in Bora Bora somewhere. Then they're on the same team. I need you to be I've said this plenty of times. Somebody got to be the good cop. Somebody got to be the bad cop. But they both cops. So it's not a lesser of two evils. It's two evils. No lesser. No lesser than two evils. So the people need to stop looking at these political parties as if they're on your side. They're on their own side. They're on their own agenda. The parties have been the parties forever and a day. Like the parties was really pretty much set up like Crips and Bloods. If you want to look at their initial beginning. So, and even in the boxing, why do you think there's a red corner and a blue corner? Just historical reference. I've said this a few other times. Um, so at this point, you got to ask yourself which party is for you. Neither. But which party is the best at getting your agenda through at that particular time is what you need to be wondering. Instead of hanging your head on one side, no. That's why they say vote on state and local level, because if you want this particular agenda and a Republican can push it through, vote Republican. If you want this particular agenda and a Democrat can push it through, go Democrat. If neither one of them can push it through and you can find an independent, go independent. If a Green Party person can do it, go Green. Go with your agenda, because these lesser of two evils are not for you. They're not for anybody but themselves. And for you to hang your hat that they're going to actually champion your rights, you're wrong. You know, there are people on the Republican Party who vote against their own economic interests all the time. And they ain't going to get no economic help. There are people in the Democratic Party who vote against their own political interests all the time. And they're not going to get no political help. So that should tell you something. There is no lesser of two evils. It's just two evils, no less.